Graveborns are death-touched acolytes who sacrifice health to unleash devastating dark magic attacks and become the phantasmal Reaper of Bones, accompanied by their manic demi-like companion. What's up YouTube? Zero here, and today I have an epic build for the Graveborn in Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. This Graveborn is going to be combined with a Spore Warden, and in this video, I'm going to go over the skills required for this epic build. Then I'm going to talk about the main stats that you want to invest in. Then I'm going to get into some more gameplay. I'm going to show the gameplay of this Graveborn Spore Warden combination. And as we're viewing some gameplay, I'm going to go over why the combination of skills is so great with each other. Then at the end of the video, I'm going to go into the equipment that I utilize for this build. But of course, this is Tiny Tina's Wonderlands with a vast amount of guns. So these aren't the end-all be-all guns for this build. There's a lot you can use, but I want to give you an idea of what I'm using. Without further ado, let's get into the build. So of course, on the Graveborn side, which this build is centered around, we have the Demi-like companion, which deals dark magic damage and can deal Hellish Blast, which is absolutely fantastic. It deals an epic amount of damage. I'm using Dire Sacrifice on this build. The Fate Maker is going to sacrifice a portion of his health to apply dark magic ability damage and dark magic status effect to enemies within the blast of the Dire Sacrifice. Of course, the Dire Sacrifice sacrifices the Fate Maker's health. Mortal Vessel is going to be maxed out. This increases the maximum health and dark magic efficiency. Essence Drain is maxed out. This is a kill skill where the spell cooldown rate is increased. Then Sanguine Sacrifice. Whenever the Fate Maker casts a spell, he regenerates health over a brief duration. That is also maxed out. And Harvest, another kill skill. Companions deal bonus dark magic damage for a duration. Now in the next row, Dark Hydra. Another kill skill, chance to summon a Dark Hydra companion, dealing dark magic ability damage to nearby enemies. That being maxed out gives us a 60% chance. Dread Covenant, also maxed out. It's only 1 out of 1. A portion of the damage is taken by the Fate Maker's Demi-like, and the Fate Maker sacrifices the Demi-like right before he or she is about to die. So your Demi-like is going to be there, even in death, for you. Now another kill skill, Ascension, which is maxed out. The maximum health and spell damage is increased for a long duration. Punishment, when the Demi-like casts Hellish Blast, there is a chance it will be cast again and again. Hellish Blast deals a lot of damage, so it's great. Lord of Edges, the Fate Maker gains increased damage dealt and damage reduction. And Morheim's Blessing, casting a spell automatically activates all of the Fate Maker's kill skills, which is an absolutely epic skill to invest in. Now let's go to our Spore Warden, where we have our Mushroom Companion. So this combination of Graveborn and Spore Warden gives us 2 companions. Of course, the Mushroom Companion is going to be dealing poison damage. Bounty of the Hunt, maxed out. Another kill skill, which acts as a skill cooldown rate, is increased for a short duration. And Kindred Heart, the companion health and companion damage is increased. And of course, that is buffed by a piece of equipment that we have. Spore Cloud, the Mushroom Companion, is going to let one rip, which taunts enemies, and it also leaves a poison cloud, dealing damage to enemies. The next row is going to be completely maxed out. Quiver of Holding, magazine size is increased, and the Fate Maker regenerates ammo over time. Medicinal Mushroom. The Mushroom Companion will go to heal the Fate Maker when the Fate Maker is downed, and you can also deal extra duration damage over time if that happens. And Windrunner, also maxed out. Kill skill, movement speed, and fire rate is increased for a short duration. So now that we've gone over the skills on this build, let's get into the main stats that you want to increase. So of course, Intelligence. This increases our spell cooldown rate so we can cast our spells more. We saw Morheim's Blessing, so we want to cast our spell as much as possible. And then Constitution. We want to max this out as well because we are sacrificing our health We are a Graveborn who loves sacrificing our health to deal more damage, so we need Constitution as high as possible. So the two you want to focus on are Intelligence and Constitution. Now, the third, when you have extra points, put them into Atonement so we can get our action skill as often as possible. After we deal our action skill, we should be drawing in a lot of dark magic, so we should be getting our health as high as possible. Then we can cast that dire sacrifice as often as possible, which deals a ton of damage to enemies within its radius. So now let's talk about the build and why this build is absolutely epic. First, let's talk about the piece de resistance, Morheim's Blessing. Casting a spell automatically activates all of the Fate Maker's kill skills. This is why I've invested in so many kill skills. Every time we're casting a spell, all of our kill skills are going to be activated. And on this build, the combination of the Graveborn and the Spore Warden, we have a total of 6 kill skills. So let's go through them. We have Essence Drain. Spell cooldown rate is increased every time we cast a spell or get a kill. Then we have Harvest. Companions deal bonus dark magic damage for a duration, which also stacks for every spell cast and every kill. Then we have our Dark Hydra. We have a 60% chance to summon a Dark Hydra, which is absolutely awesome because we already have our Mushroom Companion and our Demi-like. Now we're going to be able, 60% chance on every spell cast or every kill to get a Dark Hydra. Then Ascension, where our maximum health and spell damage are increased for a long duration. Well, we're constantly casting our spells so we can get our kill skill. And because of that, we're going to get increased spell damage, which is just amazing. Then we have Bounty of the Hunt in our Spore Warden tree now, which action skill cooldown rate is increased for a brief duration with every spell cast and every kill. And then we have Windrunner. Increased movement speed and fire rate for a duration. Again, this is a kill skill, so every spell cast and every kill. So we're getting a lot of buffs on our character and our companions every time we cast a spell or get a kill. So this Graveborn combination with the Spore Warden is going to be focused on spell casting and kill skills, which really our kill skills are spell cast skills as well. So we have a lot going for us in terms of killing and casting our spell. That is absolutely epic for this Graveborn. Then we're going to invest a little bit in our health and dark magic skills. We have Mortal Vessel. Our maximum health is going to be increased and our leech efficiency is going to be increased. Well, as a Graveborn, we're sacrificing our health with our dire sacrifice. But we're going to be increasing our health and our leech efficiency so we can, 1, have the health to sacrifice, and 2, we're going to be able to deal more dark magic damage, which can absorb into us and just heal us almost immediately. If you cast Dire Sacrifice correctly, you'll have your health back almost immediately. Then we have Sanguine Sacrament. Whenever the Fate Maker casts a spell, they regenerate health for a brief duration. So even though it's not a kill skill, we're already focused on casting spells. So we're constantly casting spells. If our health is down for whatever reason, we can start regenerating health by casting a spell. So Sanguine Sacrament works really well with this build in terms of us just casting spells almost non-stop. Now, because we are dealing damage to ourselves, we don't want to be taking a lot of damage from other sources, from our enemies. So we have Dread Covenant. A portion of the damage taken by the Fate Maker is going to go to our Demi-like. On top of that, we have a failsafe. If the Fate Maker does reach the 1 health, you're going to immediately restore health, but you're going to sacrifice your demi-like. However, this is going to save you from going into that second chance. Then we have punishment. Our demi-like and our mushroom companion are already dealing a lot of damage, but what's going to be great for our demi-like is it already has Hellish Blast. There's a chance that it can be cast again after a brief delay. That's a 20% chance, which means 1 out of every 5 times the demi-like is casting Hellish Blast, you're going to get a second one. This deals a massive amount of damage. The demi-like casting 2 in a row can absolutely decimate not only regular enemies, but also bosses, so I love punishment. Lord of Edges, also in our Graveborn tree. The Fate Maker is going to gain increased damage dealt and damage reduction the lower their health. So we are sacrificing our health. Sometimes, as a Graveborn, you can play on the edge. So if we are starting to lose a lot of health, we're going to be able to kill enemies quicker and also take less damage. So that's going to help us play a little bit more defensively and also make this build more well-rounded, as in balanced, so we don't go into second chance as much. And of course, we've talked about Morheim's Blessing, but let's talk about it again. Every time we cast a spell, we activate our kill skills, which is absolutely fantastic. So now, on the Spore Warden tree, we have Kindred Heart. Our companions are going to be doing a lot of damage, so increasing their health and damage is absolutely a must with that Kindred Heart. Spore Cloud is nice from our Mushroom Companion because not only is our Mushroom Companion dealing poison damage within that cloud, but he's also taunting, which is taking a lot of damage away from us, which makes this build even more well-rounded. It takes a lot of damage off of us. Then, of course, our magazine size being increased is nice. We can deal more damage over time, especially because we have a kill skill that increases our fire rate. So the higher our magazine size, the more bullets we can shoot before having to reload, and regenerating ammo over time is absolutely amazing. If we do, for whatever reason, go down into second chance, this is our second failsafe. Our first failsafe is going to be we're sacrificing our demi-like. However, if we do go down into second chance for a second time, or lose all of our health for a second time after we've already sacrificed our demi-like, our Mushroom Companion is going to come heal us with Medicinal Mushroom. Now, I don't utilize this that often, but playing on some of the harder chaoses, you're bound to die every once in a while, and having Medicinal Mushroom is nice as a failsafe, so your mushroom can come heal you. Now, this combination is absolutely fantastic, and I absolutely love it. Now let's get into some of the equipment that we have on this build and talk about why this equipment really works for the build. First, I have the Accelerating Twin Soul of the Assassin. This is our melee, although we're not going to be meleeing as much. It is a very nice melee to have. We're going to be dealing poison damage. It's also enchanted, so after getting a melee kill, we get increased fire rate. Melee attacks increase our damage reduction for a while. It's a nice melee to have. Then I have Exaggerating Envy. This is a sniper rifle, and while sniper rifles are sometimes hit or miss in this game, what's really nice about the Envy is that it actually creates a dark magic pool underneath the enemy every time you get a crit. Graveborns are focused on dark magic, which is why the Envy is nice. Liquid Cooling. This gun was recently nerfed, however, it's still a fantastic gun. Every time you get a crit, the cooldown rate for the shots to break is lessened. So you can almost fire this gun forever, depending upon how many crits you get. And of course, firing for a while is very nice. The Shadow Fire is absolutely fantastic. it deals dark magic damage, and being a Ferior, you can throw the gun and it creates an elemental damage explosion that can also, of course, dark magic give you that health back. So I love the Shadow Fire on this build. Now, for the final weapon in our weapons slot, I'm going to go with a Skulldugger. And this is going to be the Rogue Imp. The Rogue Imp's a fantastic gun. It not only deals fire damage, but every time you reload, it shoots out companions that deal damage to enemies. So that's absolutely fantastic as well. The 2 rings I have, one, I'm going to increase the gun damage, and this is the Focus Silicon Ring of the Foul Friend. While health is above 50%, effects are increased by 25%, and all of my guns are dealing status effects. And then the Skillful Championship Ring of Griffin Rider. This deal is ability damage plus 15%. Dealing damage to a boss increases effects by 100% for a moderate amount of time. I have Druid's Corrupted Plate Mail of the Needle Thrower. You can see what it increases. Of course, we're getting our companion increased, which is fantastic. We have increased Spore Warden and Graveborn power. And we convert 30% of the Fate Maker's damage dealt to dark magic damage, and our dark magic efficiency is increased as well. The Jacketed Master Ruin. It's inscribed. A unique rune ability are shared across all players, and this is just a nice shield to have on this build. Increased companion damage by 25%. And of course, as I said earlier, our companions are doing a lot of damage. Now I have Undying Jolt Training of Adventure, which is increasing my dark magic power and also my Graveborn power. Fate Maker critical hits increase companion critical hit chance by 80%, and companion critical hits increase Fate Maker critical hit damage by 30%. And then finally, the spell I have, the Jacketed Marshmallow. This is absolutely fantastic. It sticks to enemies. It's a marshmallow that deals fire damage. What you're looking for with a spell is you want the cooldown to be as quick as possible. But I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you did, feel free to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button for more Tiny Tina's content. I do a bunch of other RPGs, so feel free to check those out as well. Till next time, peace.